Hey y'all, what is up? I am Rosie, and I just wanted to say you can find out quite a bit just from simple Google and Facebook searches. Forgive that sound outside, these people don't care about others. Anyway, but yeah, you can do just a simple Google or a Facebook search on a name that you know, a person that you know, and you can come up with quite a bit of information. Even if it's not extensive, it lets you know certain things. So, the first person I'm going to talk about is my ex boyfriend, Steven. That's not his real name, but Steven was my very first boyfriend. He was very controlling. He was so smothering, and I was so glad when he finally ghosted me. So, I was 17 years old and about to graduate high school. He was 22, and I thought that I loved the guy. He thought that he loved me. He used to tell me all the time, as soon as you graduate high school, you and me, we're going to get married and I'm going to get us a nice trailer and we're going to have babies. And at first, that was kind of cool to me. I wanted to be a wife and mother. But the more I got to know him, the more I just got scared because I did not want to be married to this guy. So I mean, he was just like a crybaby. He used to tell me what to do, and I just got tired of him. He was he was exhausting. It's a miracle that my grades didn't go down when I was with him. So, sometime before my grandfather passed away, he asked me to go to a party with him. I don't know where this party was going to be. I don't know who was throwing the party or giving the party. I don't know who the party was for, whatever. But I did not want to go. I just had a bad feeling about it, and I don't like parties anyway. I'm not a party girl. But I asked my mom anyway because he asked me to, and I was hoping she would say no, and she did. Thankfully, she said no. And so, well, in May, my grandfather passed away. He passed away a couple weeks before my graduation, my high school graduation. And when I called him that night to let him know what happened, because if I needed my boyfriend at any time, it was that time. And he talked to me for just a little while and he was like, "Oh, baby, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry it happened to you. I wish I was there to hold you," and stuff like that. So when I went to bed that night, I was just heartbroken. And the next day was Friday. I didn't go to school because of what happened. I don't even think I went to work the next day. And I was expecting him to call me at any time. I knew what time he got off work. And when that time came around, he didn't call me. And he didn't call me by that night, which was unusual because before that, he called me every single night like clockwork. He would call me. If he wasn't working, he would call when he thought I was home from school. And if he was working, he would call me as soon as he got in from work, and we would be on the phone all night. He dominated all my time on the phone so that I wouldn't talk to my friend at the time, Justine. So, but he didn't call me. He just completely ghosted me, and I never heard from him again. And so, sometime after that, I heard that at that party, he had been arrested along with two other guys because they did something to a girl, all three of them together at the same time. I'm not going to say what it was that they did, but they were charged with, oh gosh, SA. I'll just say the letters SA or R. They were charged with that. And so I got a phone call from him one night and it said St. Clair County Jail. And when I listened for the name, it was Steven. It was his name. He gave his first, middle, and last name. And I didn't accept the charges. So he called again that night. And again, I did not accept the charges. And I think he called me again the next night. And again, I would not accept the charges. And after that, I never ever heard of him again. The last thing I heard of him was around 99, 98 or 99, his cousin told me, yeah, he really did love you. He used to cry for you all the time. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she kind of laughed, and she said that he was married and had some kids, and that he lived for his kids, and that his wife kept him isolated and alienated him from his family and stuff. And they really wished that things had worked out between me and him, because they know I wouldn't have done anything like that. So I looked up his name in the Google search a few months back and found out that he is a registered sex offender. So that rumor that was going around about him, I guess, was true. Second person, I'm just going to call Brown Eyes. Brown Eyes was 34 years old. He was 14 years older than me. And he owned a restaurant with his brother down the street from where I worked. And his restaurant was in Crestwood. He was absolutely gorgeous. He had this like tanned or olive toned skin, dark hair, big brown eyes, and a goatee. And he was just absolutely stunning. I mean, oh my gosh, he was so gorgeous. And you could just get lost in his eyes. At least I could. He was, oh God, he was, whew. So he asked me out the day before Valentine's Day in 97, I think. And I was just recovering from the flu. I had been off work for almost a week. And that night, my friend at the time, Ray, I'll just call her Ray, she begged me to come into work because nobody else came into work and she needed help. And she was like, I know you're sick. You don't have to do anything. Just sit in the back and I'll do all the work. I just need some company. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll just hang out and get paid for it, I guess. So I did. And it was February 13th. And he came in that night and he asked me out. And so I accepted. And he, the next night, picked me up from work. And he bought me a carnation. And it was the first time that any guy had ever gotten me a flower, I guess, other than the guy I went to prom with when he got me a corsage. But it was the first time any guy got me a flower, and it was Valentine's Day, so I thought it was sweet. We went back to his place, and he was very flirty, very seductive. We made out for quite a while that night, and he wanted to do things with me, but I didn't want to move that fast. I always had respect for him because from the very beginning, he was very honest about what he wanted. He told me straight up front that all he was looking for was a lover, and that if I couldn't handle that, then it was okay. Just let him know and we'll end it. And so I was like, well, why not? You know, I was 20. I wanted to explore new things. So he was honest about it. I knew not to try to get this dude to fall in love with me, so why not? So I went out with him one other time. It was back to his place. But when Howard Stern's new movie came out, he was going to take me to that movie and take me on a proper date. And I made up my mind that that was the night that I was going to let him. And I was like, well, if he's going to use me for things, then I'll use him too. But I guess God kind of worked it out to where, you know, because he stood me up that night and we didn't go out. But I heard from him 2009. We talked and I kind of got closure from it at that time. And then sometime later, his wife got in touch with me, asked me what my relationship with him was. I said there is no relationship with Brown Eyes because we just went out a couple of times and I just saw his name on Facebook and wanted to say hi. And she thanked me for my honesty. Last thing I heard about him was back in 2019 or 2020. It was 2020. I searched his name on Facebook and saw a post from his brother. And his brother said that two weeks before, which was maybe 2 weeks after my birthday that it happened. And it was 2 weeks later that I was reading about it. And he said that Brown Eyes had passed away, and that people that knew him knew the situation and knew what, it was about, and that that was what happened. So rest in peace, Brown Eyes. And if you want to know what happened with my step-grandfather, listen to the story about how he tried to kill my grandmother. But I read about him, up on him in April, and the update on him was that at the age of 83, on December 15th of 2020, he passed away from COVID, and he was in prison for the rest of his life for murder. My uncle told me about the situation and what he did, and it was really just brutal. And he was in prison for the rest of his life, no chance of parole, and he died of COVID. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. But you can really find out a lot just doing simple searches online, and it amazes me what you can find. So yeah, I'm just gonna end this real quick. I thank you guys so much for wasting time with me. Thank you for listening. Click like, subscribe, and share. It will really mean a lot to me if you did. Hope to see y'all on the next upload. Love you very, very much, and bye for now.